Good evening, my friends. Today we're going to talk about Numbers again, where Moses, the Lord had been provoked to wrath and sent serpents out into the midst of the people, and they were getting bitten by the serpents. And in verse 7 it says, "Therefore the people came to Moses and said, 'We have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against you. Pray unto the Lord that he takes away the serpents from us.' And Moses prayed for the people. And the Lord said unto Moses, 'Make you a fiery serpent, and set it upon a pole, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he looks upon it, shall live.' And Moses made a serpent of brass, and put it on a pole, and it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived." And we all know, that Jesus says, "As Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so shall the Son of Man be lifted up." And I was thinking about how those two things were allegorical, or how they were a foreshadowing of one another. And it's like, well, how is Jesus representing this snake? You know what I mean? Like, if anything, Jesus, the serpent shall bruise his heel, but he'll crush its head. So any reference to a serpent is always in reference to the enemy, But in this circumstance, Jesus is saying that in the same way that this serpent was lifted up, I'm going to be lifted up. And I was thinking about that, and it was just kind of, I was just chewing on it a little bit. And I think that in the same way that the curse that was on Israel at that time, it came through the serpent. You know what I mean? The serpent was the one who, the serpents, these fiery serpents, were the ones that were coming and biting the people, and they were dying. So then it was like they were dying because of the serpent. And so when Moses made the fiery serpent and they looked on it, then they were living. And I thought about that, and it was interesting to me. And I think that in the same way, it's kind of like, sin entered the world by man. Death came from men. So Jesus had to come as a man and be lifted up in the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? In the wilderness of sin, which we're in right now. So I just wanted to share that, that in the same way that these snakes were the ones that were causing Israel to die, in the same way, Jesus, and then God said, "Make a serpent to look at it," and because it was the same thing that had brought the death in the first place. Okay, so humans brought death upon themselves in the world. So Jesus had to be lifted up in the flesh to bring healing to the fallen sin nature that we had. And it says by one man sin entered the world, so also by the righteousness of one life came. So in the same way, that's why it says the second Adam, he came to make all things new, and he was lifted up to atone for and to reconcile what Adam had messed up. And everyone who looks to him is spared from death. So look to Jesus, okay? Look at Jesus and be free from sin today. Amen.